Welcome to Magic Tarot. I have a bigger card for you all. The question is, how's your next relationship going to be like? Okay, so you have five options here. Option one, two, three, four, and five. The timestamps will be in the description box. So let's proceed with the reading. The ones who have chosen the first option, your cards are you have the High Priestess, you have the High Priestess, Death card, King of Cups, the Devil card, Fork in the Road, the Fates, Blessed, and the Treasure Island. So, with the High Priestess, this might go both the ways, okay? Either these emotions are going to be felt by the other person or by you. You're going to feel drawn to a particular person, or someone is going to feel drawn to you by how mysterious you are. You or the other person is someone who is not very, I'm like, they're like a closed book. Okay, they are very mysterious. What people know of them is very much different than what they actually are. And with the High Priestess, it's like you're going to feel the pull, you're going to feel drawn towards them, or they're going to feel drawn towards you, but they cannot put a finger on the exact reason as to why they feel so drawn to you. And not knowing you, okay, just the not knowing you or wanting to know more about yourself is going to draw this particular person in. And with the High Priestess, this also talks about the fact that they might probably dream about you a lot, or probably you might be coming, like there's going to be a different form of connection that you're going to feel towards this particular person with the High Priestess. It's going to be more on a spiritual level. It's going to be on a level where you connect on a whole new like a form of connection that you've never felt before, a connection that transcends reality to an extent, okay, with the High Priestess, because it's more about the unknown. And you seem to, like, you seem to cross that border, or you seem to be a particular person who is so different than any form of connection that they've ever experienced before, or the connection itself is very much different, and they cannot put a they cannot pinpoint exactly as to what is it about you which is different, or um, like they just want to know you with the High Priestess, okay? Your mysteriousness is going to pull this particular person in. And with the Death card, this particular, like I said, it's going to be a connection that is going to be very much different. And with the Death card, if you have been through previous relationships and they have not worked out, you've been through a separation, you've been through something which was really hard, which transformed your whole perception and idea about love, this person is going to be very much different from your past, okay? Anyone that you've ever dealt with who's uh, someone that you want to leave behind, and you don't want to go through the same thing all over again. The Death is a card in a love rating which talks about the fact that this particular person, if it is a new person, definitely, because we are talking about someone new, a new connection that you're going to experience, it's going to be very different than what you've ever experienced before, or the person that is going to come into your life is going to be very different than your ex, or than your previous connection, okay? That is your Death card. And with the King of Cups, this, if you have not felt emotionally fulfilled, or you felt like the other person did not understand you in your previous connection, this particular person is going to be very understanding. They would have control of their emotions, they would understand you. And moreover, I think they're going to be quite logical about the, I'm like, this particular, you won't see them manipulating you, you won't see them trying to throw a tantrum or act really like, it's a very mature energy with the King of Cups. This is someone who is going to prove that they're worthy of you. And with the Devil card, one like every relationship for that matter, you have both the positives and the negatives. And if I were to talk about the negatives, or let's just say, if I were to talk about the challenges in this relationship, it's going to be the emotions that you would make this particular person feel. It's going to be really strong emotions, and they're going to be like obsessed to a point where it would seem very extreme. Maybe you would make this particular person feel such strong emotions that that this particular person might probably think that they're getting too much deeply involved with you, because with the Devil card, this talks about an anything which is done obsessively or which turns out to be toxic. It is also a very manipulative card. So this person might feel, or you might fear, that this person might try to manipulate you into manipulate you with their basically manipulative in nature. Okay, and with the Devil card, it is a very obsessive energy, a very strong connection, very strong power over you. With the King of Cups, strong emotions, and the way you would hold power over them, or they would hold a power over you, I'm like something that you cannot deny no matter how hard you try. It's like they are not, like that what you're feeling, or it is not right, but then you're going to still want it really badly. Like this particular person might even realize that their emotions are really extreme, or their emotions, the way they feel about you, is like really up and down and really strong, but then they might fear that it might border obsession. And at this point of time, the Devil card is also a card which talks about abuse. So it can be any form of abuse, emotional abuse as well. So you need to be mindful of that. And with the fork in the road talks about the fact that you might, this particular person might enter your life at a point of time when you are dealing with two things at a time, or two people at a time. Like there is an ending happening and a new beginning starting with someone completely new, and you would have to decide on which direction to take in life. That is the fork in the road, and this is two of swords as well, okay, in tarot. So whatever, first thing, I mean, like with the fates, it's like, it's going to be divinely guided. It's going to be like you do not have, it's like finally universe is stepping in and making the decision for you. You would feel like you do not have control over your life. You would probably feel like things are happening on their own, and you just like a puppet going with the flow. But with the fate card, you're also going to realize that this new beginning that's happening, or something which was meant to end. And I mean, like, there are certain things that we do not like to put an end to, but then the universe steps in. But then the universe steps in and it makes that decision for us. At that point of time, certain things are meant to end. The death card also talks about the fact that you need to do away with the old to embrace the new. So you have to do that with the death card. Unless and until you do not close a particular chapter in your life, you're not going to see the beauty of something new. So with the fate card, you might probably feel like you have no control of your life, but then it's going to be fated. It's like the universe stepping in and giving direction to your life. And with the blessed card, you're going to feel whatever direction that you end up taking, or whatever direction life forces you to take, what's going to happen is down the line, you're going to feel blessed. You're going to feel like, okay, this was divinely guided, and you're going to treasure this relationship. Something is going to come your way which is going to surprise you, and which is going to prove so much more fulfilling, and so much more like you're going to feel emotionally abundant. You're going to feel like, okay, this is the reason why I went through so much. Okay, this is the reason why I had to go through so much. You're going to finally realize your purpose. You're going to finally realize, like, why you were meant to leave something behind, because there's something so much more better ahead in the future. Okay, so the other cards that fell out for you was I want to kiss you. Okay, and the next one is consuming love. Like I told, that this is a connection which is going to be quite strong. You cannot deny the bond that you both feel towards each other, and you need to start believing in love again. So one person is, I'm like, it's you. Probably it's you or the other person would, when they end up meeting you, maybe they do not believe in love. And I hope you can see how much I truly love you. Focus on yourself, build yourself up. And with so many red on the cards, I definitely feel like love is in the air for you. I'm like from both your past as well as the future. But what I feel like you are going to attract this new person in when you are going to be least bothered about connections, and you're going to be only focusing on yourself, like building yourself up, because death is usually a hard phase of life where it's not easy. Okay, things are not really easy in death because it is a very transformative energy, a change which um, I'm like the entire perspective, our viewpoint, our the idea of love, everything is changes. Okay, with the death card, it's a very transformative energy. Like the most, it's not an easy time period, I would say. You have to let go of the old beliefs, you have to let go of the old people, you have to let go of everything old so that you move into your ideologies, your habits, your way of thinking. All of that needs to change with the death card. It's a very strong card that tells you that you need to change things in your life to attract something positive. Okay, so I would tell you focus on yourself, and that's when you're going to start attracting a very positive energy into your life. So that was your reading, and I hope you liked it. Thank you. Okay, the ones who have chosen option number two. The first card, you have the Queen of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Eight of Cups, Knight of Swords, the Lover's card, Soulmates, Deep Knowing. Okay, so how's your next how's your next relationship's going to be like? Okay, so with the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords talks about the fact, I'm like, the next connection that you're going to have is going to be someone who's going to be quite upfront, really honest, to the point. Like, you know where you stand with this particular person. They're going to be like, they're going to tell you outright where you stand with this particular person. They're also going to be like, this is what I want from this relationship. Let it be emotionally, I'm like, let it be emotional wise, or let it be financially as well, or overall, like they know what they truly want. This is someone who's been through a lot, who has, I'm like, she has a tough exterior, he or she, they have they have a tough exterior, but they're very kind from inside. They have this really soft heart that they've learned to hide it behind a tough facade. So that is the Queen of Sword. So she's going to be quite honest about the fact that with the Two of Pentacles, she's going to be honest about the fact that she wants balance in her life. Okay, she wants someone who wants the same thing as her. She's not looking out for someone who has completely different set of priorities than her, or a completely different set of ideologies than her. So this is someone who's wanting the same thing as like the same thing as her. Okay, so with the Two of Pentacles, she's wanting balance. She does not want this juggling, she does not want things to keep moving up and down. Okay, she is seeking balance in her life. It's more like a Libra energy. Okay, so that is wanting to seek balance. She wants that clarity, and she does not want someone who is fickle minded, who gets carried away with anything that's said by someone else. Like they have their own mind and they know what they truly want. This particular person, they either it can be you or them for that matter. They've been through, like they've gone, you have learned to walk away from a lot of things, a lot of situations, a lot of people like who have not served you, like a lot of connections that have really taught you about human relationships. Like you've learned a lot, and through this learning, okay, you finally realize that, okay, I do not know what's ahead of me, but I'm going to walk away from anything that no longer serves me. Okay, so it takes a lot of courage to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, which at one point of time brought a lot of happiness. And not knowing what's ahead of you, it's scary, but then this particular person is still moving ahead. They know that they want a particular thing, and what they want is love. And with the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Swords talks about, I'm like, because this particular person, Queen of Swords, okay, and the Knight of Swords, because it's the same sword energy, what I feel like this particular person is learning how to communicate well. Okay, they're learning communication, they're learning how to communicate well, okay, they're going through all of those. I mean, like, there are going to be moments because this particular person is blunt and frank. There are going to be moments when, when they might end up hurting you. Because the Knight of Swords is someone who does not think and speak, and because of which they end up saying things which can turn out to be hurtful. So with the Knight of Swords, there's going to be quick communication between the both of you, but then, because this particular person is really honest and really upfront about how they feel, sometimes it might hurt you. And with the Lovers card, I would tell you, like, whatever you've been through in your past, or whatever this particular person has been through in their past, what is going to happen is is like they're finally going to realize, like, okay, I went through so much pain and hurt and all of that thing because, you know, because the fact that in your future you had your true soulmate. Okay, you have the Lovers card and you have the soulmate card. Sometimes what happens is a connection which is so strong. When a connection is so strong, we often tend to put ourselves on a backseat, and the other person takes, like, we become too much giving in that relationship. And maybe learning, going through all these experiences, going through all these connections and relationships and situations and people, and having your heart broken so many times, or having to go through these little heartbreaks, you finally like realize how important it is to know what you want, and how important it is to be like go how important it is to put yourself first. So the Queen of Swords is someone who knows what she wants. So it's definitely, you are attracting a connection which is, intuitively you're going to know, like, this is your soulmate. Intuitively you're going to know, like, this is a very strong connection that you cannot deny. But I mean, like, oftentimes, you know being too giving in a relationship can turn out to be very fatal for the relationship. Because when, if you end up losing yourself in the connection, after a point of time, you're no more the person that you're no more that person that they actually fell in love with. Okay, so you need to realize that and learn from this experience and move on. I think you've been through a lot, you've experienced a lot in life, and it's not been easy lessons, and you've lost yourself in this connection. What happened? So if you, at one point of time, if you had ever lost yourself in a particular connection and were too giving of yourself, you need to have a control. You need to tell yourself that you are also important, because the connection that you're going to attract into your life is definitely going to be a true love. But okay, if you end up losing yourself again in that connection, you're no more the same person that they fell in love with. You need to know that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I don't have the guts to say it to your face. Maybe the person from your past. wants to tell you that, but then they cannot. And I love myself. You need to focus on yourself, love yourself, okay? And you are my crush. This might start off as crush, this might start off as infatuation and something like on a very kind, like, very sweet sort of affair, like something very sweet. Okay, so that was your reading, and I hope you liked it. Thank you. Okay, the ones who have chosen option 3. Your cards are Eight of Wands, Queen of Wands, Five of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, Six of Cups, round and round, and Orphaned card. Okay, so how's your next connection going to be like, or how's your next relationships going to be like? Okay, first thing with the Eight of Wands, for some reason, I feel like, you know, it might be a long distance, or maybe this particular person does not stay close to your place, or you basically have to travel to see each other, and because of which I think most of the time you communicate through messages, like using any form of, like, anything which is really fast, so messaging, emailing, all of those things. But the thing is, I can tell you right away that the connection is going to move really quickly. Either you or the other person, either you or the other person would want the connection to move really fast, really quick. Okay, that is the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands also talks about the fact, like, you know you want things to escalate really quickly in this particular connection. You will definitely want things to escalate in this connection really fast and quick. And either you or the other person, okay, either you or the other person would want things to escalate really quickly. And with the Eight of Wands, but then one of you would, like, okay, slow down, because the Queen of Wands is someone who is, how do I put this across? She's someone who's career minded. She's very much focused on, building an empire. She's very much focused on wanting. I mean, like, she's more focused on career and her friends rather than on love. She's not someone very keen on love, or I mean, like, people get attracted to her a lot. They think very highly of her. She's very sociable, she's fun to be around with, she's charming, and she's very confident. Okay, she's a confident person, and she knows how to use her connection. She builds connection, and she knows how to use connections. So definitely you are attracting someone who's going to be either wanting to start something of their own. They would definitely would want to start something of their own, and or are looking forward to start something of their own. That is the Queen of Wands. And the next thing I would definitely tell you is they're going to be fun to be around with. So and very attractive energy as well. Very attractive energy. But I would tell you that the best thing you can do with this particular person, if you're so much interested in them, would be the fact that start this off as a friendship, because the Queen of Wands, the sorry, the Queen of Wands is someone who is like, I'm like, she prides herself on being a really good friend and an ally. Okay, that is your Queen of Wands. So the communication is going to be really quick and fast, and things, I mean, like, there's going to be a lot of passion towards each other. That's definitely there. But then, because you and the other person is of a very strong personality, a very strong, you're very, like, your individuality is very strong. And because both of you are like that, what I feel like with the Five of Swords, you are going to be like, you're going to have clashes, definitely going to have clashes, difference in opinion, and you're going to be very opinionated people, you and the other person as well. So strong personalities clashing together. So there's definitely going to be a little, how do I tell you, like, these banters or fights, which is, I'm like, nobody wants to escalate it, and nobody wants to put their swords down. It's more like, how do I It's more like, you know, you're not happy, you know the other person is not happy fighting with you, but still it's like nobody wants to make the first move, because one person is hurt and the other person is waiting for the other person to go ahead and make some move, but they don't want to. And with the Wheel of Fortune, there's going to be really ups and downs in this relationship, but it's going to feel like it's fated, and you're going to learn so much from each other because you have the sphinx at the top. Okay, so definitely you're going to learn so much from this connection. You're going to somewhere, you know, it's going to be like, okay, we were fated to meet each other. One of you or both of you think this about this particular connection. And with the Six of Cups, a soulmate connection, like it's like you fight with each other, you communicate, then you go on into non, it's like no communication all of a sudden, communication, no communication, and then the moment there's no communication, it's like both are waiting for each other, both are missing each other, and there's definitely a very strong bond that you feel towards each other. You feel like, okay, you know, the other person also reciprocates your emotions, but then it's like nobody wants to let their guard down, or nobody wants to make the first move towards each other. And after a point of time, I feel like the negatives of this relationship, or you can just say the challenges of this relationship, would be like round and round. Okay, you might probably feel like, okay, I'm in a loop and it's like the same thing over and over again. And all of a sudden, you might probably feel like love is not everything, you know, you feel a strong bond, you miss each other, you know, you, and like the time that you spend with each other is very different, but still it's like at one point of time you're going to really feel like at one moment it's going great and the next moment it's like down. That's how you're going to feel with this particular person. And I mean, like, with this connection, I would definitely tell you all not to jump into a relationship right away. I would tell you to go ahead and be a friend to this particular person, because like I told you, Queen of Wands is a very, they pride themselves on being a good friend and a strong ally. So earn their friendship, and then you will see like things are going to really pick up with both of you. Okay, and your other cards are, okay, there's the tribe here. Okay, so you're going to attract the right positive people into your life. Just this toxic energy that you have, or feeling down about yourself, or if this particular person makes you feel down about yourself, or you are feeling that way, I think it's time that you have to let it go. Okay, so be open to receiving. You never know when life surprises you. Okay, someone truly loves you. That's a very positive card. Let's keep this casual, nothing serious. And I can't make up my mind. I regret what I did. You, you scare me. This connection scares me. Look at you. Aren't you simply gorgeous? Okay, Queen of Wands is a very beautiful and sexy energy, and your mind simply mine. So one person in this particular connection is going to feel quite strongly about the other person, and the other person might not really believe them. Or it can be like, you know, the other person is like, okay, let's see where this goes. Okay, so one is serious and the other might not take them quite seriously, because like I told you, the Queen of Wands is someone who is not focused on love. So that was your reading, and I hope, you know, it helps you out in some way. Okay, so let's move to option number 4. Your cards are, the first card is the Page of Cups, then you have the Knight of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Emperor card, the Hangman, New Life, and you have Between Worlds and the Young card. Okay, so how's your next connection going to be like, or how's your next relationships going to be like? So with the thing is, Page of Cups, Knight of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles, because you have the Four of Pentacles in between, I feel like there are two people that you're going to deal with, and one is from your past and one is from your future. So there's only two cards that have fallen out, like regarding your next connection. So maybe you've dealt with someone from your past who's been, who's been immature, because you have page and you have the knight. So they've been immature. They might even, throw tantrums, or they might try to manipulate you into thinking like you hurt them, whereas they are the ones who have actually hurt you. Let it be emotional hurt, or even with the Knight of Wands. I'm like, it's more about emotional hurt, because this particular person, um, Knight of Wands, like you all know, it's a player energy. It's a very in and out energy, and because of which, it's like somewhere you have felt. Like, this particular person keeps coming in and out of your life, and that kind of, like, a very strong passion, but then still somewhere a player energy does not really give you a good vibe, or does not make you feel really good about yourself, because this particular person is jumping from one conquest to another conquest. So because you have the Knight of Wands like that, their energy is like that. What I feel like you have dealt with someone who's been immature, who's used people, and you know who's not being right for you, but then you're still holding on to this particular energy, you're holding on to this particular person. And because you felt really strong connection, or you felt very passionate towards this particular person, and they were quite open with their emotions, like they really treated you. I mean, there were moments when they were really kind and sweet and loving towards you, and you kind of feel nostalgic about it. And then you have the Emperor and the Hanged Man. It's like, seeing two sides to one coin. You have already dealt with a particular person who's been immature, and now you're going to come across a person who's going to be so much more different than what you've ever believed men or women to be. Because this particular person, they're going to be a leader, they're going to be someone who is who has who's going to prove that they're very responsible, very stable energy, a provider who's willing to fight for you, who's willing to protect you. And the Emperor is also someone who's been through a lot. Like, they have like really wise wisdom to give you, like they can help you out in your career, in your life. And the Emperor is basically someone who is a protector. And their love language is completely different. They show their love through gifts. They show their love through by providing for people, by providing to the ones that they love. So he's going to be more of he or she is going to be more of a provider than a person who's going to, like, emotionally smother you. They're not going to be someone like that. Okay, that is the Emperor. And with the Hanged Man, this particular person, after meeting this particular person, you're going to see life, you're going to see people, or men or women from a different or completely different perspective. They're going to open your eyes, they're going to show you a side of life, that a side of to men that you never knew. Or, okay, like, okay, there can be men like this, or there can be women like this. Okay, with the Hanged Man, Emperor and the Hanged Man. So definitely someone with a very strong and positive energy, which is a person who's going to be very responsible, very stable. I'm like, this particular person is going to be with you through the ups and downs of life. Okay, they're not someone who's going to give up on you easily. They're going to fight through this entire thing and emerge victorious. Okay, they are a conqueror, the Emperor. And with the Hanged Man, spiritual awakening, you're going to have a lot of realizations that you might feel like really stuck with this old energy. But then, you, like, after meeting this particular person, you're going to see the whole scenario, the whole situation from a completely different perspective. So, they're going to open your eyes, like, you're going to see a different side to life. That is what I believe. And because of which, that's the reason you have a new life. You're going to emerge victorious. You're going to feel like, I'm so much more different. You're like shedding skin and becoming a new you. And with the Between Worlds, you're going through, like, from a completely not so happening past, you're going to move into something that's only going to bring about happy surprises into your life. And you are like manifesting, okay? You are like in a continuous mode of manifestation with the Yang card. It's like, with the Yang card, it's like you're thinking and it manifesting. If you see their hands, it's like an open hand, and it's like receiving energy. So you're manifesting and you're receiving as well. Okay. So next you have missing you. You are a winner, I told you. Then what you lost, stop looking for it, and I care. Okay. So definitely you have someone from your past, or you're holding on to your past where you're missing them or they are missing you, and but then it's time that you stop looking for what you've lost. And I know that you care, I know they care, but some connections, I'm like, that particular person needs to grow up. And unless and until they don't grow up, it will be like you're settling for less. So that was your reading, and I hope you get some form of clarity. Thank you. Okay, the ones who have chosen option number 5. Your cards are, okay, first card, you have the Moon card, Temperance, King of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, Page of Wands. You have the Five of Pentacles, Time to Go, and Loyal Heart. Okay, I know this particular. Okay, with your cards, I would definitely tell you one thing. I know this particular reading is regarding the fact that, okay, how's your next relationship's going to be like? But I will tell you, with the Moon card, Temperance, King of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, Page of Wands, and the Five of Pentacles, Time to Go, and Loyal Heart, there are three cards which don't seem very positive, three to four cards which are not very positive. So, because of which, I would definitely tell you, if you are working on yourself, if you're working on healing yourself, trying out to, I'm like, a particular connection, a previous connection of yours has really depleted you emotionally, depleted depleted you in a way that you feel like you cannot give to someone else, or just want to balance out your connection, you want to balance out your emotions with the Temperance card. Okay, so this talks about putting yourself first, it talks about healing, and it also talks about putting yourself first. So right now what you need to be doing is, like the card tells you, put yourself first. The next relationship that's coming your way, okay, don't jump into it just because you want to make yourself feel better about yourself. Okay, you're like, okay, get into the next relationship so that I feel like I'm worthy, so that I feel like I can pull myself up and move ahead in my life. Or you just feel like, okay, I'm going to show the other person that you're not the only one, I can get someone else. No, I mean, like, I would tell you, do not jump into the next relationship just for the heck of being in a relationship. So, what I would want to tell you at this point of time, with the Five of Pentacles and Time to Go and the Page of Wands, I know you've been through a lot in life. You've been through a connection which has made you feel unwanted, which has really hurt you, and which has depleted you in every sense of the way, in every sense. And usually, what happens with the Moon card, there are secrets involved. With the Moon card, you've had tower moments. You've had, like, there's a lot of illusions, there's a lot of emotions. And because of this whole thing of extreme emotions and extreme thinking, what really happens is you start to believe, you start to question yourself, was it even real in the first place? That is what you do. You start to question yourself, was it even real? Was whatever I felt, whatever I have dealt with, or whatever I'd been through, like, all of it just feels like, no, it's only from my side, and the other person does not truly feel like that. And maybe those maybe those questions that you have in your mind have still not been answered, and you're still waiting for some light to be shed on that matter, for some light to be shed on the entire situation. Like, at least let me know where I need to go, is something like that. And with the Temperance card, even in spite of not receiving your answers, finally you're realizing that you need to put yourself first, and you're healing, you're balancing out your emotions. You're finally, like, the cup that had been drained, you're like trying to put it back, trying to heal yourself. And it's not an easy process, I tell you. It's not an easy process. But if you use the other person, because the kind of energy that you're attracting into your life with the King of Swords and the Page of Wands, the kind of energy that you're attracting is someone who is of a high stature. Yeah, I mean, like, this particular person is quite, they are, I'm like, they're a good communicator, okay? They are someone who is very independent with the King of Swords. But the problem with this particular person is they're very logical. They are a very logical person. And sometimes it's like emotionally abusive as well. Like, they're not going to understand you emotionally, and they're not going to be emotionally available for you, and because of which you're going to face a lot of problems. I'm like, that's not a really positive card. I'm like, it is a good card, but then, so regarding your love, you always a woman or a man. I'm like, because love is not something which is to be, like, it is not something to be pondered over with your mind. Okay, it is just to be felt. Like, that is more of, like, it involves heart more than your mind. And this particular person, a King of Sword, is someone who's more logical. And because they're logical, you're always going to be like, is it there, is it not there? They're aloof. Okay, so with the King of Swords, I would tell you the kind of person that you're attracting is not very, like, I would say, not up to the mark. And then you have the Page of Wands, and this is someone who's like, they are after one, they go after everything that shines. Okay, or you can say they go after everything that catches their eye. So Page of Wands is looking for physical conquest, or you can say sexual conquest. They're like jumping from one good thing to another good thing. That is the Page of Wands, and it is more talk than. And like, this particular person is not looking for long term. They're not looking for, to settle down or something like that. They're just wanting to have fun, um, enjoy their life. It's more about that. So there are like two energies which are not very positive. So what I would want to tell you is, do your healing by yourself. Okay, you're strong enough, you've been through enough, you're strong enough to pull yourself out of this. And with the time to go, there are better things ahead of you. And with a loyal heart, you're someone who's really, who's really very giving in nature. So you deserve someone who treats you the same way that you know, the same way that you treat others. So, what I would want to tell you is, when we go through something hard, we are attracting at every point of time in our lives. Like, there's no on and off mode where, in manifestation, nobody talks about this. We're manifesting every single moment of our life. So, when we are in this negative energy, or when we are in the low vibration, we are attracting. Okay, so at that point of time, the people that you attract into your life are also going to be of low vibrations. And if you've ever heard of, you might have heard that there are some people, I mean, like, from one abusive relationship, the next relationship that they jump into, or the next relationship they are into, also turns out to be abusive. So what I would want to tell you is, at this point of time, when you're going through, really, I'm like, you're not feeling so great about yourself, I would tell you, heal. Do not jump into another relationship. Then what's going to happen is, you're just like an intoxicated person. You're just like a person who, and like, consider yourself as a drunk person, okay, who's not even who is not able to walk properly. So the next shoulder that they get, or the next crutch that they hold on to it so strongly that after a point of time, they feel like they cannot walk on their own feet. And the moment the other person also leaves, they cannot have them, they cannot even think of the other person leaving them because they know that they're not right for them, but then they cannot leave them only because, and it becomes so much more difficult than leaving the past. I mean, like, if you had, like, imagine you had the first one, okay, you had been through a lot, and you jump into another relationship, and even that turns out to be like that. Forgetting the old one is better. And the second one who's come into your life, it's going to be so much more difficult to come out of that because it's like you've become so dependable on the other person, and it's going to be really tough. So, what I would tell you right now is focus on yourself. Do not bother about who's going to come into your life next. Or I would just tell you, focus on yourself because then you have better things coming for you. Raise your standards because you deserve so much more better. Okay, with the loyal heart, I would definitely tell you you deserve someone better. And you are attracting a soulmate connection because the loyal heart is a soulmate card. So, you're attracting connection, but for that you need to raise your vibration. So next is, I see you happy down the line. That's a very positive card. Love has taken me on a roller coaster ride. So you've been through a lot. And give it time, your heart will heal itself. You need time, okay? The next card you have is true love awaits you, and you make my life worth living and simply beautiful. So this you need to be telling yourself. You need to work on yourself, and you need to get yourself back to a place where you really felt you were beautiful. You really felt like you needed no one to make you happy. Okay, you need to go back to that particular place, and I know it's really tough and it's hard work, but then you need to do this for yourself so that you don't fall into another trap that is not healthy for you. Okay, so that was your reading, and I hope you get something at least valuable out of it. Thank you.